in Austin, Central Texas. It is an honor and a privilege to be here over the airwaves with you guys. It's just been, this has been a week. This has been a week. I think everybody will remember where they were January the 26th. A lot of people were always reaching out with messaging and emailing, asking, saying, TC, I haven't seen you comment on Kobe Bryant and Gigi and the helicopter crash. And I'm just the type of person, I don't necessarily, I don't do death well. It takes me a time to process things. And I said, you know what, I'm going to utilize my radio show as a means to kind of pour out my heart towards the situation. And I just thoughts and prayers to not only the Bryant family, but all those who were involved within the crash, and in memory of Kobe and the things that he was able to accomplish and do with his life. Not only him, but just as a father. I mean, tremendous, like how he was with Gigi. You see the clips. I mean, just an amazing man on and off the court. And I have a guest with me in today. My brother Brandon Johnson has come down from the city of Houston to be with us on Lyfe Reel Talk. It is a story that is guaranteed to bless you. You will walk out of this segment a better man or a better woman than you were when you tuned in. But before getting into it, I just want to take the time to say, my most favorite Kobe Bryant memory. And B, I want you to be thinking of yours as well. But my favorite Kobe Bryant memory had to be when I was in the 6th grade. It's 1997. He was a rookie the year prior in 1996. So he's no longer a sixth man. He's in 97. He's on the starting lineup. And I remember him going to the United Center. And they faced Michael Jordan. Ooh. And he dropped 30-some-odd points on Michael Jordan in the United Center, and you could see him having conversation with MJ. And it was at that point.
Talking about greatness.
Right. And at that point, I'm sitting here saying, okay, MJ don't talk to everybody like that. Yeah. And it was the point, like, it wasn't like Allen Iverson crossing over Michael Jordan in 96. Yeah. That wasn't the passing of the torch. This was a passing of the torch. They were conversating about the game of basketball, and that's how I knew Kobe was going to be the next great one, and he did not disappoint.
Wow.
And so with bringing Brandon into fold, because I want to give just a brief introduction, and I'm gonna let this show be yours today, because your story is that powerful, though, my brother. It's that powerful, and it is something that the world needs to hear, that everybody needs to hear, of all walks of life.
Blessings.
Because being from Houston and getting to where you are, where the game of basketball has taken you, is still taking you professionally. Your journey is it's bold, just as you say.
Oh, man.
But before we get into that journey, I want you to just share with us briefly, your best and favorite Kobe Bryant memory. And Dylan, before he does, I want you to cue that TC Speaks, because we do this everywhere. You know me, you've seen me speak. So Dylan, hit that TC Speaks for him real quick. Hit that for him. Oh, he might not have it. We'll get back into it later. But go ahead and share. Ahead and share your favorite Kobe Bryant.
For me, man, I just want to say R.I.P. Kobe Bryant, man. All the families that was part of that situation, man.
Right.
That was devastating. That's by far, for me, the most tragic thing I've ever witnessed in my life, man. I was a huge fan of Kobe. Everyone that knows me, he was complete motivation, especially the way I grew up. But my moment with Kobe, man, I was actually with the Phoenix Suns, but I had NBA workouts before I engaged into NBA.
Okay.
I got my first opportunity, man. I actually, San Diego is up the street from LA. So with San Diego, if you ever been to San Diego, man, it's a piece of heaven. It's beautiful. Obviously, baby. So a lot of NBA teams would come there like a vacation. So Phoenix Suns and the Lakers, and they used to come up there and do workouts during the summer. And sometimes we'd have opportunities to tune in. And so I had seen those guys before, but I never had opportunity to be in that light like that. So my first time seeing Kobe from a close-up standpoint. I've been to games at the Staples Center, but to see him like, I can touch him right now. So I was in workouts. The Lakers called me in for a workout. I worked out with the Lakers, and Kobe just so happened to be at the office, a few other players, man, during that period, dude. So this was around 2000. 2009, somewhere around 2008, I want to say 2009, and to see him, dude, it was just, he wasn't even in, to see the walk, to see him live, dude, to hear him, and I just, hey, how you doing, Kobe? And I've never been starstruck. I've never I met Denzel Washington before, and I was starstruck. I don't want to say females, but how women get all like giggly. You know what I'm saying? So when I actually met the Mamba, dude, it was just, for me, the excitement, the energy from him. You just felt like who he is greatness. His greatness, and to touch greatness, it's just like, man, that's Superman. And I tell people the reason why I think that impact hurts so hard, man, because we saw Superman get killed. Yeah. And if you watch any movies or anything like that, when Superman is killed, the world is confused because whoever did it, they're saying if that happened to him, we're up for grabs. Mm-hmm. You get what I'm saying? So from that standpoint, man, to see that situation unfold like that, it just crushed so many people. Yeah. And I'm still devastated. I'm still in shock. I'm still in disbelief, and I'm still hurt because once you say Kobe, then you add those other people and then his daughter. Right. It's so many people losing so many pieces in that situation.
And I'll say this, man. I think it crushes me that it because now you see the posts, you see everybody's positivity, the conversations. Right. What always hurts me about tragedy is that it always takes tragedy to bring people of different races and different genders together.
But listen, that's the hardest part for me is to watch people say, "Hey, let me get closer to my family members," but they're missing the big picture. That's gonna fade away. Mm-hmm. That's eventually gonna say, "Listen, I'm not calling such and such." Everybody went crazy, but I don't think that can't be the picture God was trying to tell us. Mm-hmm. We have to get back to focus on God. Mm-hmm. You get what I'm saying? Like at this point, that Kobe died, and it's such a tragedy because that man might be the only person that could do that. Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, this man had a great life and a great death. Think about this. Think about if you could go to church and then die.
That's right. That's real.
And nobody's saying that. Nobody's noticing that this man went to church at 7. This man had a great life and a great death. Mm-hmm. You get what I'm saying?
That's deep, B.
And just think about all the people. Just think when, 2 more people come together? Mm-hmm. Just think about all the people praying for this man to get in heaven. Mm-hmm. That's a great death. A great thing. A great death. Just think about the world is praying on this man's soul.
Wow.
Nobody's saying that. Everybody's like, hey, let me go call such and such. What God is saying is only person that matters is him. Mm-hmm. Oh, you can go reach out, but they can't do nothing for you in the next.
End of the day.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So everybody's going, he had a great life and a great death. He has the world praying to get into heaven. Think about when you go, who all going to be praying? Mm-hmm. That means that man went to that altar, laid it down, and then died 3 hours later.
That's deep.
Just think about that.
Yeah, you shedding light on me for a second,
just
bro.
Just think about everybody's focused on that. Just think about if you could go to church right now and repent and do all that, then pass.
That's perfect.
What's a better death?
Mm-hmm. That's real. Hey, man, you shed light on me, man.
You get what I'm saying?
That's deep.
It's way bigger than, hey, let me call my people. Mm-hmm. It's way people, that's going to fade. Mm-hmm. The big picture is like, listen, I'm God. Mm-hmm. Everything depends on me. I can do this. I just took Superman from y'all. And y'all still talking about, let me call such and such. No, you can go anytime. Live for me.
Right here, right now.
I took Superman. You know you're not more valuable than Kobe. If we look at it from a physical standpoint or a human standpoint, you're not more valuable than Kobe. Who's more valuable? And everybody's thinking that this man had a great life and a great death. We are praying for this man to get in heaven, his soul. Think about if your mom, your grandma pray, how many times have you made it just from that?
Just from that.
I didn't mean to go deep, but
it's good. Listen, and I want everybody to have this opportunity. You guys text in. We're going to get into Brandon, why he's here, and the journey that he's had. 512-447-3776, 512-337-3776. We're getting into what I like to call, that's the first quarter. I break things down still from a standpoint athletically. Dylan's back in. Dylan, can you cue that TC Speaks for us, man? We're going to get this thing rolling.
Shouts out to Dylan, baby. What's up, man?
All right. Well, that's our cue, so let's get into it then. We have in the studio Mr. Brandon Johnson.
What's up,
he has one of the boldest journeys ever could have imagined. And I want to take people, I think I have the capability to go deeper in this journey because I know B from a personal standpoint. I met him this past fall while I was making schools up in Corpus Christi.
Yeah.
And
best
quickly,
thing that ever happened to me.
Hey, quickly blown away by his energy, his passion, his realism. And I think y'all can already get a taste of that through the segment piece we just did for Kobe that B just took over. The Real Talk Nation is ready for you, my brother. And so I want you to give your heart.
I am.
That's all I request from people. You give your heart and you lay it down. I'm here nothing more than just to guide you.
Yeah.
Because your story is going to bless somebody today.
Man, I appreciate it.
So take us in, Brandon Johnson, Missouri City, Texas.
Yeah.
Coming into the world, what's going on in your life? You got to take us from the beginning in the journey.
Man, the journey, man. First of all, I want to say glory to God, man. I appreciate you guys having me, man.
Yes,
I know it's about me, but I do want to say, man, I idolize this guy right here, man. Tyler, I saw him in Corpus Christi, like you said. I met him. I didn't know what was in store for me, but I feel like God brought me up there to be at this point in my life, man. Certain things that happen, and now we sitting face to face, and this man has definitely shed light on so many different things, man. But the moment he stuck a fork in my heart, man, where it's been bleeding to ooze out, man, for him, man. He's just so gifted in what he do, man. I want to say thank you for having me, and thank you for, igniting my drive towards public speaking and things like that, man. But my journey, man, I've definitely had a unique one. I feel like I grew up in Houston, Texas.
Yeah.
Started off over there in Missouri City, man. I grew up over there, man, and from there, man, life happened. I'm writing a book right now. It's called Exposed. In my first chapter, beginning of my life, man, I feel like I was exposed to so many different things, and a lot of us are. For me, I was exposed to drugs, gambling, which I'll bring it to a head when we get further down the line, which you can kind of see how things connect. But I was exposed. My mom and my brothers and them, they went through a lot of things before I even was hatched. You get what I'm saying? And when they speak on product of your environment, you are. And it's hard to fight it. You get what I'm saying? I was a good kid in a bad situation. But at that moment, when you get older, you realize people have to do certain things in order to survive. And once you grow and you have kids, you realize how hard it is to live your own life and then to live for other people. So I don't look at their mistakes or their decisions as negatives. I realized through my journey, all this was necessary. And once you become understanding of that, you won't think about the negative situation. But for my journey, when I grew up, like I said, I was exposed to fast living. My mom's was a hustler. I grew up in a hustling family. My mom boyfriends was hustling, so I was exposed to that. That's what was my role models. I was looking at that as that's the way to go. I've never seen a person wake up and go to a job.
That's what you saw. That's what you saw.
Yeah, I never seen a person go to a 9 to 5. You get what I'm saying? I witnessed robberies. You know what I'm saying? This is, and understand this, my time frame with my mom is about 1 to 7. How old you are in the third grade? About 7, 8 years old.
Yeah, man, I believe 8 years old.
So during that time, you probably only remember from 4 to 8. 4 is a max, the minimum of what you probably remember during that span. And I remember so much from the fights. My foundation was built on survival, a slave mentality in a sense. Survival, do whatever it takes. You're a fighter. That's what I was built on. My oldest brother was a real big brother. He don't go get nobody. My big brother stood up there and fought my mom's battles. You know what I'm saying? So I'm watching this. This is my principles now. Listen, you stand and fight. You don't run. Whatever you go through, you're going to survive it. Instead of living. I learned the difference between living and surviving. You get what I'm saying? I get older and I realize surviving is not key. And a lot of people just want to survive. And God gonna give you exactly what you're praying for. Just survival. You wonder why you can't edge over.
Go to the next. Yeah, that's not even where your mindset is.
All you praying for is survival. You know what I'm saying? You use certain terms. The mouth speaks certain things.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't want to be broke. Take that out your vocabulary. Yeah. You get what I'm saying? So during that time frame, I learned so much through my journey, as from 1 to 7. You get what I'm saying? What I was exposed to. My mom's didn't ask for my report card. She said, just better pass. One fight, everybody fight. You get what I'm saying? So from there, all of a sudden, man, my mom has a situation where they take her away from us. I don't get the nurturing stage because my mom is out. You got to be a man immediately. My oldest brother raised me in a sense.
Right.
My dad jumped in and out, so all of a sudden I get to really meet my father. Hello, father. You know what I'm saying? This is by default. My mom is gone. It's your turn.
Now, you finally get in a relationship with your dad.
Right.
Never been around up until then.
Right.
So
right.
What age are we right now?
He was in and out. He was in and out. I'll see him, and then time span. You know?
What age are we right now?
I'm about to go to the 4th grade.
You're about to go to 4th grade,
yeah.
so you still
So
young.
Understand, I'm a baby. Nobody sits me down and say, hey, you about to go to your dad. You done over here. My oldest brother raised me.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? He's gone.
Man,
that's my father.
That's your father.
They don't say nothing to him. They just take me away from what's been raising me. You know what I'm saying? So all of a sudden, at that age, it's now kids need an explanation. They go through the divorces. They need that nurturing. I didn't get that. I skipped the nurturing phase. I go straight to my dad. It's a man now. Be tough. You know what I'm saying? But the blessing about my dad, which I commend him, he had his own family. The moment his family disagreed about us, he left everything behind. He's always good in my book. You know, he could never be in debt because that moment solidified. Like I said, I understand how hard it is to live your own life. That moment, that man said, listen, I want my kids.
Yeah.
It's my time.
It's my time.
And he left a marriage. He left a lot of things behind. And I always commend him because that stands out to a point as a man. You left a house, the cars, and to make sure you get your kids. Moving on, it's just my dad was two different worlds.
Yeah.
Understand the recipe that I'm building. My dad was two different worlds. My mom was exposed, be tough, be a gangster, be this. You get what I'm saying? You might look at it as wrong at the moment, but understand if you believe in God, all this is necessary for what I'm coming up to. So now with my dad, hey, let me see your report card. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, you care about report cards. Hey, you got to come in at night. Well, my mom's, we had no curfew. We wild. We animals. We in the jungle over there. Now you taking a lion and say caging him. What a lion gonna do in a cage?
Oh, you gonna be ready to roam.
Yeah. I'm a lion now. You know what I'm saying? Now you trying to cage me. No, it's gonna be some conflict. But what he taught me in the midst of that was morals and values. Listen, you respect. Open the door for a woman. You know what I'm saying?
So you getting into it. So dad's starting to fill in and paint some pictures that weren't there.
Yeah. So he's going to 9 to 5.
And this is deep because y'all, we just getting into the journey because up next, I want you to talk about that Willow Ridge High School.
Yeah, we coming.
And homelessness.
Yeah.
And trying to play sports and trying to be a good student, but you're homeless.
Yeah.
I want to get into this, Brandon. You're at Willow Ridge High School now.
Yeah.
Willow Ridge High School. You know, TJ Ford, Daniel Ewing, the great Thurman Thomas. Played for the Buffalo Bills, NFL Hall of Fame. A great pedigree of athletes. And you're here, but it's not all gold for you right now at Willow Ridge High School.
Not at all.
Talk to us.
So my transition, man, me and my dad, we parted ways. It came to the fork in the road, man. I made a decision. I saw a lot of examples in front of me. So when I made the decision to step out on the streets by myself, man, it was just, listen, my dad couldn't see my vision on my dream. A lot of my brothers that went through their situations, he couldn't understand that I had the opportunity. My AAU coach came in there with the Adidas national team and offered me an opportunity. My dad disagreed, wanted me to work during the summer. And I said, no, I'm going out for my dream. I packed my 2 bags. You know what I'm saying? Packed my 2 bags and hit the streets.
So you're homeless right now. You are on your own.
I'm on
and
my
it's
own.
you and your basketball dream
I'm 15.
at this point. Wow, 15 years old.
15 years old, I made a decision that I want a future. I want to be amazing. I want to be successful. Not even successful, I want to be special. You know what I'm saying? Like, I made that decision at 15, and from there, I just went with it. I let God guide my path. I let him have he had his hands around me ever since I was young. You know what I'm saying? So when I made that decision, I was confident in God. I had no idea what I was going to do. I ran into moments where coach wanted us to dress up for games. I don't have no funds to do that. I had to sit out. Let me tell you how God worked. All of a sudden, my principal calls me down to the office the next day because she saw me. I didn't play in the game because I couldn't dress. She calls me down to the office. She found out I was poor and homeless. She calls me down to the office in the middle of school. Her husband picks me up, takes me over to Men's Warehouse.
And gets you clothes.
Give me clothes. I come sharp the next game. But that's just a little moment where I know when God got his hands on it. Blessings are not $500. Physical man can get $500. Blessings when it has no calculations. You can't define it. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So all of a sudden I'm homeless. Do you understand how to live homeless?
I don't. That's why you're here, because you got to speak on that, V.
I'm going house to house. God blessed me with some angels. One of my friends, my other friends, their parents, they understood without saying. I didn't know the spectrum of what's homeless. Like, you know what I'm saying? And people think like you got to be under a bridge. No, you just don't have a place to call home. I can't sleep there. Eventually, I gotta go. You on the clock when you stand with other people. Well, is he gonna get it together? You know what I'm saying? I'm a kid going through this. When I look back and talk to kids, I'm raising a 12-year-old right now. When I look back and talk to these kids, I can see how immature. Do you know what it takes to go sit around people's family and they just calling you their brother? They've realized without them saying it, I know they know I'm not these people, kid. Mm-hmm. You know, my best friend, grandma took me in late because she was like, "Hey, come stay."
Yeah.
My friend knew, like, hey, you got to get back. I'm missing school. Yeah. I'm going through a lot during this time. I'm still trying to play the game I love, though.
Basketball.
All this is because of basketball. You'll see why basketball is such a key element. I've been through hell and back for this game.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So right now I made a sacrifice to play this game. Now I'm at a point where I'm homeless because of this. I'm still trying to go to school. How do you focus in the midst of this storm?
And try to go into school and learn and everything.
My AAU coach during the summer is picking me up from dope houses. I'm hustling. You get what I'm saying? Like, these kids are in the van. Every day you're picking me up from a different place to go to practice, pick me up for these games. You get what I'm saying? Like, I'm living a life that you can't understand to this extent, but this is what's crazy. I'm a good kid.
Yeah.
In a bad situation, which we got millions of kids like this.
All over the country.
They're not bad. You got kids that's, listen, I'm going to be bad no matter what, but you also got good kids in bad situations that we need to save.
So how did you keep this thing alive? Because you're still going through this process through high school.
See, when we speak on this has nothing to do with me.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? I would lie to you and say, let me tell you how I kept it alive. Nah, I'm just got my head down. And I'm going. I'm not conscious yet of the whole thing. I think God knows that. Yeah. You don't know what you're doing. I got you. Mm-hmm. I don't know what's going. I played one game. I wasn't highly recruited. I played one game in Vegas against the number one team in the country, and I put on a show
at the tournament
in Vegas. I was not highly recruited. I've never trained in my life. These kids train all day. I was not that guy they think.
Yeah, AAU basketball is serious.
Yeah, but somehow this AAU coach that came in 8th grade, I don't know how he heard about me. I'm not like that. I couldn't shoot. I only had a right hand, and I played football my whole life. You get what I'm saying? My job was supposed to be football. All of a sudden, God put light around me. He had his angels around me through this whole process. I don't know how. I've never trained. My first training session, my freshman year in college, up top in the summer with chairs. I've never worked on my game. You know what I'm saying? Like, I hooped a lot.
I street ball a lot. Just playing ball.
But that's what I'm saying. God had his hands on that. All of a sudden in Vegas, boom.
So how do we get to San Diego? Because, you get to USD. So how do you get from Willow Ridge to University of San Diego?
I performed in Vegas. My AAU coach is like the Black Dick Vitale. He's screaming at UT, Rick Barnes, UConn, and everybody that's sitting behind the bench. Boom, we go from there. I get back to the school. All of a sudden, they say, man, I don't know what you did. My head coach, I don't know what you did in Vegas, but people want you. All of a sudden, they take a chance on me. University of San Diego.
University of San Diego.
Welcome to college.
One of the most beautiful places in the country. So you take a kid out of the South Side from Mo City, and we get to University of San Diego. You playing basketball, freshman. There's no family for you out there. Barely any money. It's like my dad used to say when he showed up to the University of Texas, bro, he showed up with 2 pairs of blue jeans.
I had 2 bags of
And
clothes.
He would talk about how when he got to UT, everybody's parents were dropping their kids off their first day of college.
Man, let me tell you.
So you get to San Diego, that's not your environment.
That's the most devastating thing I've ever been through my life. This is when I made a decision to harden my heart. So I get to college, right? And during the summer, I got 5 teammates. We stand in a condo, right? So summer ball, you come to summer school. These kids got trailers. Understand University of San Diego is one of the richest schools in the country. And it's a private school.
It's right there
I'm so dumbfounded from an educational point. I don't even know. I was so done. I didn't have no mentors, nobody to guide me through this process. All these kids got parents to say, yeah, this is the right school. I don't have anything. I'm just excited to be. I've never had a dream to go play basketball. And all of a sudden, this unfolded. You get what I'm saying? I did my work and God did the rest. But at the end of the day, when I get to this school, dude, I've never realized how alone and how poor I was to that extent.
Wow.
So when I get to the school and I see this campus and I see all these kids driving Bentleys at 17 and 18, and then I'm sitting there with my teammates in the summer and they dropping off their kids, and I'm sitting there, I got 2 bags of clothes. I put my stuff in some drawers. I sit on the bed. I didn't even think about I need bed sheets. I need all this other stuff that people need for college. I had 2 bags of clothes and a basketball when I got off the plane. The coach walked by and say, hey, what time your family coming? They coming? I tell them yes, so they don't pay no attention. I'm watching. I hear the voices in all these rooms and the giggles and the excitement.
Yours is quiet.
These kids are hanging up pictures. They bringing TVs. These parents drove with trailers. I'm up there with 2 bags of clothes. I know I'm poor. That was the loneliest I ever felt.
And see, I think that's something that a lot of people don't take into account when you put kids and they go to college.
Yeah.
I think when people just expect them to arrive and just pick up, but there's really a lot of things that everybody of all different walks of life are exposed to once they hit a college environment.
Yeah.
And you're speaking on that. I think a lot of people don't understand what goes on and off the court that a lot of kids have to deal with at the age of 18.
They're the breadwinners.
Yeah.
Some of these coaches are taking chances with these kids. They're removing them from their families, and these kids are the breadwinner of the family. They're working. Their moms can't move. They're too old, or something is going on where the dynamics have made this person the key person in the family. And then all of a sudden, he just so happened to have some talent, and the coach says, let me use that.
Yeah. So let's talk talent.
Yeah.
Because talent showed. You had a remarkable freshman season. Man. You went freshman All American.
Freshman All American shocked me. Understand, I have no expectations.
No.
I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just working. I got kicked out of practices, bad grades, culture shock. In my book, my freshman year is called Culture Shock. Mm-hmm. I've never been around any other race. I'm from the hood. Mm-hmm. I'm from the hood. You get what I'm saying? I've never been. My education level is, I was smart enough. I got a high common sense. But when you talk about books, these kids been private school their whole lives. I knew I was done. I remember the teacher said, who read the books from the summer, first day of school? In my hood, nobody. Mm-hmm. I laughed. Everybody put their hand up.
Except for you.
Right. I knew it was past me.
But basketball set you free.
Oh man, it was my world. No matter how much money they had.
So you put on a show. I mean, this is for those who don't know. I mean, this is University of San Diego basketball. Yeah. This is Brandon. You took the school through something that was unprecedented.
Yeah. It's different when you go to Kentucky, Kansas. That legacy is already built.
There. You went to San Diego with nothing.
Yeah.
It started with you that pioneer of a program.
I'm going to say not start with me, but to elevate it past what it was. We the first team to ever, no offense to San Diego State, but we the first team to ever made it past the first round. In San Diego. History.
Exactly.
I didn't know that, but that was crazy to me.
But see, and what's amazing is that freshman All-American year
got a lot of players.
Yeah. But see, let the world know who you guys upset your freshman year in the NCAA tournament.
Oh, UConn.
And I read Jim Calhoun's quote after they played
what he wrote?
And he wrote, listen, ladies and gentlemen, you can Google this. Jim Calhoun wrote this. He said, Brandon Johnson could start at the point guard position for any team
you did your research.
In the NCAA. That was Jim Calhoun, coach of UConn, number 1 seed. And you guys knocked them off.
That was the highest compliment I've ever witnessed.
What year was that?
That was my junior year.
So this is 2008. 2008. So freshman All-American.
I'm at the highest. It's time
freshman
to go to
All-American,
NBA, baby.
For your first year. Now we're upsetting UConn your junior year.
Yeah.
The world knows who Brandon Johnson
St.
is.
Mary. It was a crazy run. We beat St. Mary's with Patty Mills from San Antonio Spurs. We beat Gonzaga. You know Gonzaga. Top.
History.
And then we played UConn. We beat 3 top 25 teams.
Unprecedented.
Yeah.
So the world knows who Brandon Johnson is.
And we beat Kentucky that year. It was crazy.
The world knows you. From going from Mo City, from the bottom, from homeless to not knowing how to fit at USD. You found a way. Yeah. You've worked it. Your family has not come to visit you. You are creating a path for yourself. And you have a son at this time. Yeah. So life goes even higher because you need ball is the future that you can set free.
You know what's crazy? I just want to throw this in there. This is how God worked for me. My grandma passed, the lady that took me in. She's not really my grandma, but my best friend grandma. But she gave me everything I missed with my mom. She nurtured me. Okay. You get what I'm saying? All she had to do is say, "Oh, you okay? Yeah. How was your day when I came in? I'm coming in late at night." You know what I'm saying? But she just say, "Listen, just you can sleep here." Yeah. And then all of a sudden, she passed, and I had my son.
You had your son.
He filled that void.
So you are a father right now. And that hurt, that pain.
Yeah, that hurt from her. I've never cried about anybody. I hardened my heart that first day at my freshman year.
Yeah.
And when she passed, that crushed me because I've never loved somebody like that. That wasn't my real grandma. But people know me. I don't even cry about my real grandma like that. So all of a sudden she passed, I get my son. Boom.
And then, so we go through that. You have this remarkable junior season.
Crazy.
So life is up here.
Yeah,
and you know there's a future that's waiting for you in the National Basketball
Milwaukee
Association.
And the NBA scouts are in the stands now.
So we know. You have the vision.
I'm solidified.
But but take us through the Achilles.
Oh.
So you're at the heighten, but then we have the drop.
Yeah. So this is why I say with no mentors and all that, man, I'm not sure about coming out. Understand San Diego is my home now.
Right.
I don't have a home back in Houston to that extent. So San Diego is where I built my life. I tell people I'm born in Houston, but I was raised in California. So when I get to this point, all of a sudden it's time to go to leave. They say when you hot, you need to leave. I don't leave. My coach say come back. He got a contract extension, all that. Come back. We juniors, 2 juniors and the rest freshmen.
Okay.
So we come back. We thinking we can win. I take that risk. I should have went out, but I'm scared because if I leave out during that time, you can't come back to college. So now I take this risk to come back, play again. 6th game of the year.
Torn Achilles.
San Diego State.
I know.
Tore my Achilles. I remember sitting back in the locker room when everybody was talking, panicking, and I'm just looking up at the wall and I started laughing because I'm asking God,
wow,
what's up?
Mm-hmm.
We came far. We here.
Yeah.
The family needs it. I'm going to take care of everybody. That's just in my heart. Mm-hmm. Since 15, it wasn't to go to the NBA. It was to take care of my family. However this happened, it's a wrap.
So that year's done.
But listen how God worked. So that year, they changed the rule to medical.
Mm-hmm.
If they changed it to 7 games that year.
So you made it by 6. So you're able to get the medical. So you get your medical. Yeah. You're able to rehab.
Middle of the rehab, I have bone spurs, 2 surgeries in 9 months.
But you eventually work your way back to the basketball court.
Yeah.
Now, and this is where I want y'all to start listening in. This is where it starts to get real.
Yeah.
So take us into that journey.
That year.
And this is where it starts to get dicey.
That year, it's probably the toughest year of my life.
Mm-hmm.
My confidence is down. 2 surgeries. I'm not the same player. So many things transpired during that time. Understand when you get surgery, you want family next to your bedside.
You had
that sadness I had that first day of college, I found it again. I had left it behind because success started overflowing. Life started over. I built a world. And then I realized where I was. That year felt like my freshman year when I first got there. Like, they don't even know you no more.
Mm-hmm.
What you do when the cheers stop. When they stop clapping.
Who are you?
Yeah. I had to go figure out. I remember sitting in that room going through pain. I don't have family in my bedside. Who don't want family sitting right there when you get surgery? That year I come back. I wasn't around the program at all. I don't know these teammates to this extent. A lot of people I graduated, that was my senior year.
Yeah,
they moved on. I got some young guys, but we 2 different mindsets. I live here. You kids still calling your parents for money. I'm way past these kids mentally. This is my world. You get what I'm saying? So I'm not a college student. This is my life. I just have to be here to get to where I'm going. The arena was when I was rich.
Mm-hmm.
No matter how rich these kids was, they came out and saw me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's when I was rich. That year, I felt broke again. I didn't have a great year. I was cool, but it wasn't who I was. My confidence, I couldn't move like I want. Got heavier. My mindset, my strength, and everything. My foundation was broken. A lot of things transpired. I was vulnerable again.
Mm-hmm.
You can get to me.
And that's ultimately what got to you.
Yeah. So during that time, I ended up getting an opportunity with the Phoenix Suns.
Yeah.
I graduated.
Yeah.
I go to the Wizards. Dan Marley sent me over to the Wizards to give me an opportunity. I go over there. I play a little preseason games. And I came home to see my moms, right?
Yeah.
And, man, I come home to see my moms, and I got a foot. Dude, I've never been so close to an opportunity in my life.
Yeah.
I'm right there.
Yeah.
And I come home to see my moms, and I'm ready to tell her the good news. And all of a sudden, 6 a.m. in that morning, dude, I hear a loud noise at the door. And I go to the door, regular day. Understand, I'm with the Wizards. I'm all the way up here. I've fought through all that.
Oh, you in the NBA.
The sacrifices, everything I've done up to this point, it's starting to make sense. It makes sense to anybody. Them parents cry at them podiums because they not crying about the money. They about to be rich. They're crying because of the journey. Mm-hmm. I get all the way up to the point, and all of a sudden I'm sitting with a foot in the door. A foot in the door. And all of a sudden, 6 a.m. in the morning, my life changed in seconds. I look out the peephole. I see FBI agents. I'm not understanding. Understand, I'm at my mom's. So who knows what's going on? Mm-hmm. They couldn't be for me. I've removed myself from this world completely. Yeah. 6 a.m. in the morning, I look out, I open the door. And when they put their guns on me and was screaming my name, it was a movie.
You just think it's a typical night you spending with your mom to now the FBI has guns in your face.
My whole life, I've never witnessed any of this. I could have did this any day. I went so far away from this. All of a sudden, I'm sitting there with guns in my face. These people are screaming, get down on the floor, like they're going to kill me if I don't. I've never done nothing. Yeah. Not to this extreme. Mm-hmm. I don't know what's going on. I'm a guy I'm temperament. I'm balanced. I'm a Libra. I'm balanced. I'm not panicking. That's not in my DNA. I've always been controlled. They get me on the floor. My mom's run out. Crying. Tears. I watch her fall on the floor, screaming, don't take me. Last time I saw my mom's really was in the 3rd grade when she was going
to prison. Yeah.
You feel me? Last time I saw her, she was going.
And now she's seeing FBI.
The youngest one of us, the youngest of the Cubs going. Now my brothers are gangsters. They out here. I went so far away from this. Mm-hmm. And now you're seeing the only one that went so far away go to prison. They pick me up. They take me to headquarters, the whole 9, like the movies. That was 6 a.m. in that morning. By 8 p.m., I was sitting in federal prison in an orange jumpsuit. God.
They pulling you downtown Houston.
Yeah.
What's going through your mind?
Man, right now, I'm just saying they made a mistake. Eventually, it's going to come out. Once we get there, we do an interrogation. We get in an interrogation room, right? And I'm sitting there, and I'm still not. They good cop, bad cop. They sitting on the other side of the table like me and you. And I'm like, listen, I know y'all made a mistake. It was a tape sitting in front of us, right? And everybody's chatty. The officer's talking about San Diego. I'm not putting nothing together. Understand, I'm a year removed from college. Mm-hmm. You get what I'm saying? 2010, I'm in the NBA by 11. I'm a year removed, so I have no idea what's going on. The man say, 1 second, we're going to play this tape, and then you will know. He reached over and hits play. I hear my voice.
Wow.
Oh, man. I've never been so mad to hear my voice. Oh, man, I heard 2 seconds and understood what happened.
And what happened?
I had just been indicted on point shaving charges.
Wow.
Bribery, point shaving, gambling, sports betting, Vegas, the whole 9. I had just been indicted. I'm a kid right now. My life was gone in seconds. Everything I worked for, that 2 seconds on that tape, I understood. This is about to be crazy. I didn't know the magnitude. I'm sitting in prison by the end of that night in solitary. Just imagine the devil's playground was at the highest. Solitary. The FBI picks me up. I have no idea what's going on. This happened in 2010. I made a decision to engage in situation of sports betting. 2010, I'm a year removed. I'm at the door. Mama, I'm about to get us the house bros. I'm about to get us out the hood. I didn't tell y'all, but this has been my plan. I'm sitting in prison now. Mm-hmm. Everything's gone. The next morning, I remember sitting in the bed in prison. I had that orange jumpsuit on, and I was so scared. I was tucking the cover over the orange jumpsuit because it was paralyzing me. I was devastated to be in this situation. I've never been here. This is not jail. This is prison. Mm-hmm. They got me in solitary like I'm a menace to society.
Yeah.
My thoughts are magnified. I don't know the magnitude of this case. They slide the paper under the door the next morning. USA Today, it's a huge picture of me laying the ball up. The point shaver. My rep is gone. My life is gone. I'm thinking about so much. I watched my life be torn apart. I got out in 7 days. I watched my life be torn apart in 7 days. It was a guy in the mafia was involved. It was a guy that had a standoff with the SWAT team in this case.
It wasn't just you. I mean, you were in it with
10 people in my case.
10 people in the case.
It was insane. I lost everything in 7 days. I got out of solitary, and I was in complete shock. The world has just taken my soul.
Yeah.
What do you do? How do you rebuild yourself? Everybody in my corner looking at me as a failure now.
And if you go forward to the sentencing, I remember I looked it up. Like the judge, when sentence time came, and the judge said, "You will never play basketball again." But when we talked, I think one of the most unique things that you told me by the time sentencing had come,
I was ready.
You told me you were ready for prison.
I was excited for prison. The prison was probably the most amazing moment I've ever had.
Speak on that.
So when you growing, right? In those 2 years, the illusion was the case. I knew I played my part in the case and what I did, right? But the big picture was you wasn't a good father to your son. Mm-hmm. You were so concentrated on everything else, the NBA and all that, working so hard. But I got a son I need to raise. Oh, okay, that gap you felt with your family, God fixed everything. Those 2 years, the case set me down. Fighting for my life in these 2 years. I couldn't go nowhere.
You couldn't go nowhere. You had no choice but to be around your family.
Right. All of a sudden, I'm a father again.
Yeah.
Oh, this is what I've been missing. I feel like I could never combine those two worlds. California and Houston, I could never combine. The man I was in California, the man I was in Houston, I'm home for 3 weeks and I'm gone.
So you now have the opportunity to speak and be a father and mend things and be that man. Yeah. So you were able to
I hadn't
prep.
seen my moms, my dad. I got prepared, but you're going through a struggle. It seemed like a storm.
Yeah.
But I was getting jewels and gold back. I got the value. The case held its weight, but that wasn't the picture for me.
Right.
The father, my dad, my sister, my brothers, them people I left at 15, I got them all back.
So you get sentenced.
Yeah.
And I think when you serve your time, you know, basketball never left you.
Never left.
You still played while you were
in
prison. But what I think after you served your time, you still kept playing 6 a.m. You're still balling out there on the grounds.
Yeah.
You're able to come out, and the FBI is reaching out to you,
right?
And they make you a betting ambassador.
Yeah. For
the game.
Yeah. As of right now, so the journey went, so I manifested this, and now I play ball, and then I walked out into the NCAA called me. I spoke at the NCAA. They took me there, and all of a sudden I go to Louisville and speak. The FBI is engaged. They're speaking with me. This is how God works. The same people that said I couldn't, or all these things, I've played basketball. God is writing an amazing story right now. I played ball. I played pro for the last 6 years. All of a sudden I speak to the same people that put me in jail, the NCAA. I speak there. I share my education from experience. It's not a PowerPoint. This is real life. All of a sudden, I go speak to the NBA. Secondly, all of a sudden, I go to Louisville. I speak with the FBI, the people that picked me up.
And put you in place.
Welcome to God.
So now, you're traveling the country.
Yeah.
Sharing your story.
Yeah.
Changing the world.
Yeah. Educating
working
them.
With young people.
Yeah.
From prison cell to changing the world.
From the court to the court.
That's real life, real talk. Brandon Johnson, y'all look him up. So catch his social media. I am Brandon Johnson. He is there. The best is still to come. Documentary to come.
Yeah.
You all, this is Real Life, Real Talk Nation.
Stay tuned, man.
Follow Brandon Johnson. Keep up.
Yeah, I am Brandon Johnson, man. I am Brandon Johnson. That's my Instagram. My website is www.brandonsboldjourney.com, man. Make sure you guys tune in, man. It's going to be crazy.
Love it, man. And thank you, respect you, and blessings on your journey,
man.
My brother.
Thank you so much for having me, man.
Make it a great day.
Yeah.
Y'all have a good Saturday, Real Life, Real Talk Nation.
Appreciate y'all tuning in, man. Love all y'all, man. Glory to God.
Join us Saturdays, 11 to 12. Real Life, Real Talk with Tyler Campbell. Mr. TC Speaks here on 104.9 The Horn. See you then.